the transfer portal has more or less kind of come to a close. The window to enter your name into the portal has officially come and gone, or the deadline has passed, rather. Still some big names out there. Cormani McClain, we're going to see where he ends up. Tyler Barron, at the time of us being live, don't know where he's landing. But I think we've reached a point where enough of these big names are off the board to where we can kind of start to decipher, okay, who had the best landing spot? Like when it comes to fit, because I think fit in college football and football period is everything. The situation you're landing in, I think, is everything. Who were the best portal fits when it comes to this spring transfer portal window in 2024? I want to start out on the Plains, and Keandre Lambert-Smith from Auburn, I think, is landing in a perfect situation for him. There's some questions around Peyton Thorne and what he's going to be this upcoming season. I understand that. But Auburn, for what they needed some explosivity. Now, Cam Coleman's going to help in that effort, but Auburn last year, they had 6.3 yards a pass. It's good for 107th in the country. You got to be more explosive offensively. Have to believe Hugh Freeze is making an effort to do that in 2024. Keandre Lambert-Smith averaged 13 yards a catch last year. So bada bing, bada boom, you add some dynamite to the offense. That's a good deal. Now, the reason why it's a good fit for Keandre Lambert-Smith is because he is not going to be the centerpiece of this offense. Will he get a lot of footballs thrown his way? You better believe it. Have a funny feeling that Keandre Lambert-Smith wouldn't be going to Auburn if that wasn't communicated on the front end. But he's not going to be getting double coverage every other snap because, like I just mentioned, Cam Coleman, he's a real threat on the perimeter. You got Rivaldo Fairweather, a tight end who looks like a bionicle playing for them. He might line up in the slot, can line up at H. You can move him around. He's a real deal weapon for you as well. And so when defenses have to play against Auburn, they have, I think, 3 very real receiving threats at a minimum, not even counting the other young bucks that might elevate themselves this upcoming season for Auburn. And then also what they're going to do in the ground game and the RPO game, that's going to set them up for a lot of success. So Auburn, Keandre Lambert-Smith, handshake emoji, real good fit. I love that for both parties. Derek Harmon is a defensive lineman transfer from Michigan State. He's going to Oregon. We have been extremely high on him since he put his name back in the portal for this spring cycle. And I mentioned he's going to Oregon. That was a school he talked to during that winter period when he jumped in the portal that first time around. Oregon has got the edge defensive position taken care of. Like they got Mateo Uyunglele on the outside. They got Jordan Birch on the outside. Both those dudes are going to get after the passer with a vengeance. Now, what that's going to do for Derek Harmon is you cannot feel good about giving him extra attention with how you dial up your blocking scheme and then feel good about protecting your quarterback with those two dudes coming off the edge. And so if you're doubling Mateo Uyunglele, guess what? You have less guys to block Derek Harmon. Same thing can be said for Jordan Birch. So at the end of the day here, I understand that it's not going to be a situation where he's only getting one man blocking him every single down, but the fact that offensive lines have to scheme for all 3 of those cats and the rest of their defensive weapons they have there at Oregon, that's massive. It's a great fit for Oregon because they got a 6'5", 320-pound anchor now in the middle of that defense as they move into the Big Ten. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's great for Derek Harmon. I think he'll flourish there, and I think Oregon's defensive line will be much better with him in the fold now and having some proven production there. Running back Damian Martinez to Miami was at Oregon State previously. He's a 2,000-yard back from his time at Oregon State over 2 seasons. The thing I love about the fit here for him at Miami is he is a north and south runner. And when you hear the name Shannon Dawson, you look at his resume, you say, okay, this guy's an air raid guy, right? He's been around a lot of air raid coaches. It's kind of the background for him. He's going to want to throw the football. Yes, he wants to throw the football, but also he wants to have a power kind of run game. To put it simply, in the power run scheme, you want to go forward. It's not a whole lot of getting lateral and running the speed sweep to the outside. Like, they'll have versions of that, but Damian Martinez is first team all downhill. They're going to play to that skill set for him in this offense. He's a smooth runner, but at the same time, I feel like he's a violent runner, which is exactly what is going to fit Shannon Dawson's scheme when they run the football. Also worth noting, Damian Martinez, as much as I think he's going to be a bell cow for them this upcoming season, he's going to get a pretty good picture in the box with the looks that he runs against. Like with Cam Ward playing quarterback, and they also added Sam Brown through the portal. They got Xavier Restrepo out there at wide receiver. They got a lot of pieces to still throw the ball effectively to where I think Miami offensively will be pretty dynamic and pretty balanced to where if you want to stack the box, more power to you, Cam Ward's going to throw it over your head. If you want to play the pass, well, then Damian Martinez is going to be able to eat you alive, like I just mentioned he's going to do in that power kind of run scheme. So the bottom line here is it's a great fit for Damian Martinez schematically, and it's a great fit for Miami in the sense that now you can keep defenses honest. Really, really good fit for all parties involved. Another really good fit that we're a fan of here, running back Dylan Edwards, transferred from Colorado back home to Kansas. He was committed to Kansas State at one point in time. He recommitted to Kansas State through the portal. Like I mentioned, he's already from the state of Kansas. He is playing in an offense where he is going to have the attention divided in the run game between him, Avery Johnson, and DJ Giddens. Now, DJ Giddens was quietly one of the better backs in all of America last year, ran for over 1,200 yards. And so when Dylan Edwards is back there with Avery Johnson can also scoot a little bit. Like, you worry about him on the quarterback design runs. You worry about him on the read option. You worry about him in an ad-lib situation. So in the situation where they're in the backfield together, defenses will have to commit a linebacker to give a little extra attention to if Avery Johnson pulls it. So at the end of the day here, there's just less attention given to you if you're Dylan Edwards. That's a good thing. That makes for more space, makes for more opportunities for big plays. And then with DJ Giddens in that backfield with you as well, you're going to be able to have more fresh legs throughout the course of a season, have a little less wear and tear. I think it's a great deal. Also, the fact that he's going to be in an offense where he's played with that quarterback before at the youth level, you can't make this stuff up, man. That's modern college football. That is the transfer portal. Last one to get to here, and this is a more under-the-radar perfect fit in my mind because you won't probably see him play this year unless something horrific happens at Georgia. Jaden Rashada transferring from Arizona State to go to Georgia to sit a year is a perfect fit for all parties involved because Jaden Rashada transferring from ASU transferred there with the intention of, hey, I'm not ready to play yet. I need to develop. I need to sit a year. I need to figure out this whole college football thing. And then after a year or so, I'll compete for the job and have a chance to play at a really high level. If you want to develop, is there really a better situation than learning and playing in a pro-style offense under Mike Bobo? Multiple pro-style offense, I suppose, under Mike Bobo. Sitting behind who I believe could and potentially will be the best quarterback in all of college football in 2024. And oh, by the way, if you're taking reps with the twos or the threes you're on the scout team, whatever you're doing, if you're Jaden Rashada, you are doing it against future NFL players in what Georgia has on defense and with NFL players in what Georgia has on offense. So if you're Jaden Rashada, you want to develop, you pick the right place to do it, not even to mention the standards they have at Georgia and what they hold their entire locker room to with how you do practice, with how you study film, all those things. It's a professional organization dropped into college football run by Kirby Smart. And for Georgia, it's a massive advantage to them in the sense that, okay, well, we just added another talented arm to that quarterback room. This whole thing is driven off of competition. Gunnar Stockton, you want to win the job. Ryan Puglisi, you want to win the job. You got to go toe-to-toe with Jaden Rashada for it, who's also a really talented arm in his own right. So at the end of the day, Georgia, through competition, is going to get the best quarterback for the future. From having him in their room, it's going to benefit all parties involved. So those are kind of the best portal fits in my mind when you look at what we have here across the board from Derek Harmon at Oregon, Keandre Lambert-Smith to Auburn, Damian Martinez to Miami, Dylan Edwards to Kansas State, and Jaden Rashada to Georgia, as I just mentioned. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.